Hello friends, welcome to State Engineering Service examination section of Winds of Change. We will cover so many questions from the civil engineering topic here from Expert IES. You may contact us at windsoftchange2020@gmail.com, and for the study material you can download from the link given in the description box. You can subscribe to this channel to stay updated for more videos. You may like these videos if you feel useful for you and comment for any feedback. Welcome to the fifth and final video of 160 questions of irrigation and hydrology. We will cover question number 121 to 160, that is 40 questions in this video. So let's begin. Question number 121. Which of the following statement is correct? The canal system and the drainage system are complementary, or the canal system runs on the ridges, gets divided into smaller channels and spreads its water on the land, or the drainage system runs along the lowest line, collects drainage water from the slopes and joins the main stream, or all of the above. So which one will be the correct statement, or all of the above are correct statement? Just think about it. The answer will be all of the above, that is all are correct statement. First of all, the canal system and drainage system, they are complementary to each other, and these both definitions are being given through which you can determine this sentence that it is the correct statement. The canal system runs on the ridges. First of all, canal system runs on ridges. They gets divided into smaller channels and spread its water on the land. They provide the water by spreading its distributaries on the land. While in the drainage system, it runs along the lowest line, collects drainage water from the slopes and joins the main stream. This is just the reverse process of the canal system. Okay, so all of the above will be the correct statement. Next question. Pick up the incorrect statement from the following. In free flooding irrigation, water is admitted at one corner of a field and is allowed to spread over the entire area. Is it a correct statement or incorrect? Just think about it. In check method of irrigation, the field is divided into smaller compartments and water is admitted to each in turn. In the furrow irrigation method, water is admitted between the rows of plants in the field, or none of these. Just think about it. In this, all of the above are the correct statement, so answer will be option D, that is none of these. Okay, in the free flooding irrigation, first of all, the water is admitted at one corner because it is a wild flooding, okay, and it is allowed to spread over the entire area. While in case of the check method of irrigation, the field is divided into the smaller compartment. In this we provide smaller cells, and onto that the water is admitted. While in the furrow irrigation, like in the case of the potato crops, the water is admitted between the rows of plants in the field. Okay, we have explained these types of irrigation in the revision of irrigation engineering. You can visit to that video from the link given in the description box. We have explained the free flooding as wild flooding. The movement of water is unrestricted in this one, while in case of check flooding, water is controlled by surrounding the area with low and flat levees, and in case of the furrow irrigation, only 20 to 50% of land surface is wetted by the water. Okay, so we have explained these in the video of irrigation engineering revision. You can watch it. Next question. Regime condition in a channel may occur if discharge is constant, channel flow uniformly in incoherent alluvium as that transported in suspension, or silt grade and silt charge are constant, or all of the above. Just think about the regime condition. Last is regime condition. Can you recall it? For the regime condition, all of the above will be the correct statement. That is option D will be the correct one. Why it is so? Because in the regime condition, first of all, the discharge is constant and the channel flows uniformly in incoherent alluvium. This is very important term, incoherent alluvium, as that transported in suspension, while silt grade and silt charge remains constant. Okay, that is why he has given the formula of the silt grade. Next question. Irrigation canals are generally aligned along ridge line, contour line, valley line, or straight line. What will be the answer here? Usually the irrigation canals are laid along the ridge line of that area. so that the water from this canal can be provided to the area of influence which are at the lower elevation in its surrounding. Okay. Next question. Seepage through the foundation in an earthen dam is controlled by providing rock toe, horizontal blanket, impervious cutoff or chimney drain. Just think about it. Through the foundation in an earthen dam, if we have to control the seepage, then what we will provide? Obviously, it has to be an impervious layer which can only prevent the seepage of water. So answer will be option C, that is impervious cutoff has to be provided. You can watch it here. These are the impervious cutoff. Cutoff trench is being provided below the earthen dam to prevent the seepage of the water. Okay. Next question. If the straight side of a triangular section of a lined canal with circular bottom of radius d makes an angle 45 degree to the horizontal, the hydraulic mean depth is d, d by 2, d by 3 or d by 5. Just think about it. Can you recall the formula for this hydraulic mean depth, that is A by P, and formula for A and P in case of triangular section of canal? It will be option B, that is d by 2. How it is so? Actually, it is irrigation canal having triangular side and circular bottom, and for such canal, area is given by d squared theta plus cot theta, and perimeter, that is wetted perimeter, is given by 2d theta plus cot theta. So A by P ratio, that is R, will become d by 2. So the answer will be option B, that is d by 2. Okay, we have to memorize this formula. This is also important for area and perimeter in case of the triangular lined section with circular bottom. Next question. The water stored in the reservoir below the minimum pool level is called useful storage, dead storage, valley storage or surcharge storage. Just think about it. We have already discussed this question in the previous video of this 160 questions. Just think about it. Below the minimum pool level, that is called as dead storage. That is option B will be the correct answer. Do you remember this photo? It was discussed in the previous video. This is the dead storage. Below this, below minimum pool level. Below minimum pool level, this is the dead storage. Okay. Next question. For diversion of flood water of river, the type of the canal constructed is ridge canal, perennial canal, inundation canal or only the canal. Just think about it. For diversion of the flood water of rivers, for that purpose, the canal that will be provided will be inundation canal. That is option C will be the correct answer. Inundation canal we provide for the diversion of the flood water of the rivers. Okay. Next question. S-curve hydrograph is used to obtain unit hydrograph of shorter duration from longer duration or longer duration from shorter duration or both A and B or none of the above. Just think about the S-curve hydrograph. S-curve hydrograph is used to obtain unit hydrograph of, the answer will be both A and B, because S-curve is used to obtain any kind of unit hydrograph, because in this one you can convert it from shorter duration to longer duration also and from longer duration to shorter duration also. It doesn't require any particular increment in shorter or longer direction, and in this a unit hydrograph of a number and decimal can also be obtained. Okay, so both A and B will be the correct answer. Next question. The most suitable chemical which can be applied to the water surface for reducing evaporation is methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol or butyl alcohol. Just think about it. This is an important question. The answer will be option C, that is cetyl alcohol is the chemical that can be applied to the water surface to reduce the evaporation losses. Now how it will act? Because it is not readily hydrolyzed, the cetyl alcohol can be applied as a film over a surface. For example, on the leaves of the growing plants or across a water reservoir to reduce the rate of the water loss through evaporation. Okay. Next question. Process of meandering is due to sediment load of streams, discharge and hydraulic properties of streams, relative erodibility of the bed and banks, or all of the above. Just think about it. Answer will be all of the above. It is due to the sediment load of stream. First of all, sediment load on stream is the major constituent which is responsible for meandering of the river. Discharge and hydraulic properties of streams, due to which the river course can change, and relative erodibility of the bed and banks, because at the concave side there will be erosion, at the convex side there will be deposition of because of the sediment load. Okay, so all these three will be the correct one. So all of the above will be the correct answer. Next question. Cross regulators in main canal are provided to regulate water supply to the distributaries, to increase water head upstream when the main canal is running with low supplies, or to overflow excessive flow water, or none of these. Just think about it, why we provide the cross regulator on the main canal. Cross regulator, that is, it will be provided in the transverse direction of the flow of the water. So the answer here will be, it will be provided to increase the water head upstream when the main canal is running with low supplies. You can see here, this is the main canal, flow is in this direction, and now we have to take a offtake canal from this. Since if it is running with low water supply, so we have to provide a cross regulator here which can increase the water level in this canal so that the water can be transferred to offtake canal also. Okay, so this is the statement which was written in the question, that is to increase the water head upstream when the main canal is running with low supplies. Okay, next question. If the reduced level of the canal bed level and highest flood level of the drainage are 212 meter and 210 meter respectively, then the cross drainage work will be aqueduct, superpassage, siphon, or siphon aqueduct. Very easy question. You just have to know what are these things. As we already know all of these are being explained in the revision video of irrigation engineering, so you can watch there. And in this question we have to find out what will be the answer. Since RL of the canal bed level, RL of canal bed level is 212 meter and HFL of drainage is 210 meter. Now canal bed level is above the HFL of the drainage. So this is the case in which canal is above the drainage and HFL of the drainage is below the bed level of the canal. So what will be the condition here? It will be a condition of aqueduct. Okay, in which this is the canal bed level. So its level is 212 meter and the HFL of this drainage, that is 210 meter. Okay, so that is why it is aqueduct. Next question. Effective precipitation for a crop may be defined as total precipitation minus loss due to evaporation, total precipitation minus loss due to infiltration, or total precipitation during the crop period, or available water stored in soil within root zone of the crop. Just think about the answer. It is the available water stored in soil within root zone of the crop, which will be the effective precipitation, because in the effective precipitation we minus all the losses that occur, and after that whatever precipitation is stored, that is being obtained, that can be obtained by the root of the plant, that will be the effective precipitation, that will be the available water stored in soil within root zone of the crop. Okay, next question. A deficit of the sediments in flowing water may be cause a river meandering type, aggrading type, degrading type, or subcritical type. It is being said that deficit of sediment means it is being deprived of sediment in the flowing water. Then that will be, which one will be the answer? Just think about it. It will be a case of degrading type river, okay, in which the sediment load is decreasing. If the sediment is being deposited, then it will be called as aggrading type. Okay, so it is a degrading type river in which the deficit of sediment occurs. Next question. The water utilizable by plants is available in soil mainly in the form of gravity water, capillary water, I think it should be hygroscopic water, or chemical water. Just think about it. Water utilizable by the plant, this is available in the soil in the form of capillary water. Okay, it will be available in the form of the capillary water. Gravity water will seep down and join the water table. Hygroscopic water is the one which is being available inside the soil particles, so that cannot be utilized by the plants. While the chemical water can also not be utilized by plant, it can be the capillary water only. which can be utilized by the plants. Okay, next question. Which of the following method of applying water may be used on rolling land? Since we are having a rolling land, it is not a plain terrain, so which method will be applicable? Border flooding, check flooding, furrow flooding, or free flooding? Think about it. In this one, the answer will be free flooding. The free flooding will be applicable on the rolling terrain. Since the elevation of different part of the terrain is not being defined, it is a rolling terrain, so obviously we will prefer free flooding only. We cannot go for any other type of flooding. We can also go for sprinkler method, but it is not given in the option, so obviously the answer will be free flooding. This method may be used on rolling terrain when the topography is irregular, when borders, check, basins and furrows are not visible. Okay. Next question. Infiltration rate is always more than infiltration capacity, less than infiltration capacity, equal to or less than infiltration capacity, or equal to or more than infiltration capacity. Just think about it. Infiltration rate. The maximum value of infiltration rate, that is called as the infiltration capacity. So infiltration rate may reach the infiltration capacity when it is at its maximum value. So the answer will be option C, that is infiltration rate will always be either equal to or less than the infiltration capacity, because infiltration capacity is the threshold, it is the maximum value of the infiltration rate. Okay. Next question. Lassie's regime condition is obtained if silt grade in the channel is variable, discharge in the channel is variable, silt charge in the channel is variable, or channel flows in unlimited incoherent alluvium of the same character as that of the transported material. Just think about it. Very easy question. The definition of the Lassie's regime condition only says that the characteristic of the particle when it was transported, that has to remain same in the condition in which we are observing. So the answer will be option D, that is channel flow is unlimited, incoherent alluvium. The silt in the suspension should not change their properties. Incoherent alluvium of same character as that transported material. Okay, so the answer will be option D. This is the definition of the Lassie's regime condition. Okay. Next question. Pick up the correct statement from the following. Water table generally follows the ground surface above it with a few exceptions. Or static level of the water in an open well indicates the position of the water table. Or at water table hydrostatic pressure is 0, or all of the above. Just think about it. Which one will be the correct statement in this one? Let's see the first statement. Water table generally follows the ground surface above it with few exceptions. This is usually true. Water table depth is usually constant in the area and it is parallel to the ground surface. The static level of water in an open well indicates the position of the water table, which is absolutely true. Because if we are not taking out the water from the well, then there will not be any drawdown. So it will be a condition in which it will indicate the level of the water table. At water table, hydrostatic pressure is 0. This is also true at water table since there is no water above it. So obviously water pressure will be 0. From that level to any depth, if we go deeper, then there will be some hydrostatic pressure. But at that portion, at that water table level, there will be no water pressure. Okay. So all of the above will be the correct answer. We have seen here. Option D will be the correct. Next question. Pick up the correct statement from the following. The full supply level of the canal should be above ground level. Is it true? Think about it. According to Lassie, regime condition requires a particular slope for a given discharge and silt factor. Just go to the formula of the slope given by Lassie. You will find it out the answer. In case of the ground slope is less than the required bed slope, the silt factor must be reduced by permitting the entry of coarse silt. Or all of the above. Just think about it. Okay, let's take each statement first. First statement, the full supply level of canal should be above ground level, which is absolutely a correct statement. We have already discussed this in a question that full supply level of canal should be above ground level, about 15 centimeter to 20 centimeter above it, so that the water can be easily transported to the vicinity of the field around it. While according to Lassie, regime condition requires a particular slope for a given discharge and silt factor. This is also correct statement. Can you recall the formula of slope given by Lassie? It will be given by S equal to f raised to power 5 by 3, that is silt factor raised to power 5 by 3 upon 3340 q raised to power 1 by 6. This is the equation of Lassie's silt factor. We have explained the Lassie's theory very well in the video of irrigation engineering. You can visit to this video from the link given in the description box, or you may download the app of Winds of Change where you will find all the revision videos. So here Lassie's condition, it will require a particular slope for a given discharge and silt factor. Now the third statement, in case the ground slope is less than the required bed slope, the silt factor must be reduced by permitting the entry of coarse silt. We will provide the coarse silt so that the transportation can be easier. There should not be more deposition of the silt at the bottom. Okay, so all of the above will be the correct answer. That is option D will be correct. Okay. Next question. For standing crops of undulating sandy field, the best method of irrigation is sprinkler irrigation, free flooding, check method or furrow method. In case of the sandy field, if we have to obtain which method of irrigation will be better, here the water that should be supplied, that should not be inundated because it will obviously reach to the bottom. It will be infiltrated and it can join the water table easily. So in the sandy field, we will prefer that kind of irrigation which require minimum amount of water and that can be supplied externally to the crops in the root zone. So here we will prefer the sprinkler irrigation method. Since here there will be less losses because of infiltration in the case of sprinkler irrigation. That is why we will prefer sprinkler irrigation in case of the sandy field. Okay, even it is a case of undulating sandy field. So it is very important in the undulating field, we will prefer sprinkler irrigation. Okay. Next question. For cereal crops, the most commonly adopted method of irrigation is free flowing method, check method, furrow method or sprinkler method. Think about it. For cereal crops, which method is adopted? It will be check method. Check method is adopted in case of the cereal crops. These are the check method which was explained in the video of irrigation engineering revision. In this, water is controlled by surrounding the area with low and flat levees. These looks like this. Here we will provide water. This is the main trench from which water is being applied to this field. Okay. And these fields are being divided into the smaller units. This method is suitable for more permeable as well as less permeable soil. Okay, so in case of the cereal crops, we will prefer this method, that is check method of irrigation. Okay, next question. According to Khosla's theory, the exit gradient in the absence of a downstream cutoff is 0, unity, infinity or very large. Can you recall the formula of exit gradient given by Khosla? Just try to recall it. The exit gradient, in that formula there will be a term of h upon d, and since d is in the denominator and it will become 0, so obviously the answer will become the infinity. Okay, this is the formula for exit gradient, that is h upon d 1 upon pi root lambda. So if d value, that is the downstream depth of the file, this is the downstream cutoff depth, so this will be 0, so obviously it will be infinity. Okay, because something upon 0 becomes infinity. Next question. The ratio of rate of change of discharge of an outlet and parent channel is known as efficiency, sensitivity, flexibility or modular limit. Just think about it. What will be the answer here? It will be called as flexibility. The ratio of rate of change of discharge of an outlet and parent channel, Q outlet upon Q parent, that will be called as flexibility. Option C will be the correct answer. Memorize it. Next question. Infiltration capacity is a constant factor, changes with time, changes with location or changes with both time and location. Infiltration capacity. Think about it. It is the maximum rate of infiltration that can be achieved. It will be changing with both time and location. It will depend upon type of the soil, topography of the area as well as on the time also. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer. Next question. Hydrograph is a graphical representation of runoff and time, surface runoff and time, groundwater flow and time or rainfall and time. Just think about it. Hydrograph is a graphical representation of Very easy question. It is a representation of runoff versus time. Okay, that is the rainfall excess or runoff and time, which will be called as a typical hydrograph. Okay, next question. In a canal siphon, the flow is under atmospheric pressure, pipe flow, with critical velocity, or under negative pressure. In case of the canal siphon, what is canal siphon? In this, the canal is taken under a closed condition. Since usually the canal flows at the atmospheric pressure as an open channel, but in the canal siphon, it will pass through a contained portion, through a closed portion. So the flow type will be pipe flow. That is option B will be the correct answer. Pipe flow will be the case of the canal siphon. Okay, in this we will provide canal through a closed space. Next question. Pick up the correct statement from the following. In a level crossing, the crest with its top at the canal full supply level is provided across the drainage at its upstream junction with canal. Have you understood? In case of the level crossing, the crest with its top at the canal full supply level is provided across the drainage at its upstream junction of the canal. Second, in case of level crossing, a regulator is provided across the drainage at its downstream, while in level crossing, a cross regulator is provided on the canal below the crossing, or all of the above. Just think about it. In case of level crossing, these all statement will become correct because at the level crossing, first of all, crest with its top at the canal FSL is provided across the drainage at its upstream junction with canal. In the level crossing, a regulator is provided across the drainage at downstream. At the downstream end, there will be a regulator provided as well as at the a cross regulator is also provided on the canal below the crossing. Okay, so all of the above statement are correct and we should memorize these. Next question. Select the incorrect statement. Intensive irrigation should be avoided in the areas susceptible to the waterlogging, or extensive irrigation should be adopted in the areas susceptible to waterlogging. Lift irrigation increases waterlogging, or all of the above. Just focus on these statements. In case there is waterlogging, then we will avoid the intensive irrigation because these are already being under the waterlogged area. So this will be a correct statement. Now extensive irrigation should be adopted in the areas susceptible to waterlogging. Obviously it will be true, there will be extensive irrigation that will be adopted. Lift irrigation increases the waterlogging. This will be an incorrect statement because lift irrigation is provided in which the water is being taken from a lower level to a higher level. So obviously there is water shortage at the higher level, that is why we are being provided in the lift irrigation. So obviously there cannot be a case of waterlogging. It will be very rare that there the waterlogging can occur. Okay, so this will be an incorrect statement. Option C will be incorrect. Okay. Next question. Select the correct statement. A meander increases the river length but a cutoff reduces the river length. Or cutoff increases the river length but a meander reduces the river length. Or both meander and cutoff increases the river length, or both meander and cutoff decreases the river length. Very easy question. You know about meander, you can easily answer it. In this, the meander increases the river length and cutoff reduces the river length. You can watch it here. In this, it is a stream. Let's say it is flowing and there is a meander that will be created by some natural factors, and this meander will enlarge, and if we provide a cutoff here, then obviously it will decrease the stream length, while in case of the meander this stream length was increased. Okay, so obviously meander will increase the stream length and cutoff will decrease the stream length. Okay, next question. Useful storage minus valley storage, useful storage plus surcharge storage, useful storage plus surcharge storage plus valley storage, or useful storage plus surcharge storage minus valley storage. What will be the correct answer here? For a flood control reservoir, effective storage will be the sum of useful storage and surcharge storage, but we will subtract the valley storage from it. Okay, so it will be sum of useful storage plus surcharge storage minus valley storage. Okay, next question. Silt excluders are constructed on the riverbed upstream of head regulator, riverbed downstream of head regulator, canal bed upstream of head regulator, or canal bed downstream of head regulator. Think about it. where we provide the silt excluders. We provide it along riverbed upstream of head regulator. These silt excluders are located on the upstream of the diversion weir and in front of the head regulator. The object is to remove silt that has entered in the stilling basin through the scouring sluices. We exclude the silt that is being deposited in it at the riverbed upstream of head regulator. Okay. Next question. The sinuosity of a mender is the ratio of mender length and the width of mender length and half width of river, curved length and the straight distance, or none of these. Think about it. Easy question. If you know about the sinuosity, you can easily answer the question. The sinuosity will be the ratio of curved length and its straight distance. That is option C will be the correct. It is the ratio of curved length and the straight distance. Okay. Next question. If the straight side of a triangular section of a line canal with circular bottom of radius r makes angle theta with horizontal, the perimeter of canal is r theta plus tan theta, 2r theta plus tan theta, r theta plus cot theta, or 2r theta plus cot theta. Think about it. Can you recall it? The answer will be option D, that is 2r theta plus cot theta. This will be the perimeter. Perimeter, that is this one. This perimeter is 2r theta plus cot theta. Okay. Next question. An aggrading river is a silting river, scouring river, both silting and scouring river, or neither silting, non-scouring river. Just think about it. We have already discussed it in a question in which we have discussed degrading and aggrading rivers. Aggrading river is the one in which the silting occurs. That is, a silting river is called as aggrading river. Okay. Next question. The shape of recession limb of hydrograph depends upon basin characters only, storm characters only, both A and B, or none of the above. Think about it. We are talking about the recession limb of the hydrograph. The recession limb will depend upon the basin characters. This is the recession limb. This will depend upon the basin character because peak flow has already been reached, and after that there will be the recession limb which will depend upon the basin characters only. Okay. Next question. The unit hydrograph of a specified duration can be used to evaluate the hydrograph of the storm of same duration only, same and shorter duration, same and longer duration, or any duration. Think about it. Unit hydrograph of a specified duration can be used to evaluate hydrograph of the storm of any duration. Unit hydrograph is the basic, it is the quantum value on which we can multiply it by any other duration so that we can obtain the hydrograph of any duration. Okay. Next question. Which of the following is a non-recording rain gauge? Tipping bucket type rain gauge, Simon's rain gauge, Stevens weighing type rain gauge, or floating type rain gauge? This is very important question. We have discussed this in a video of revision of hydrology. You can watch it by following the link in the description box, or you can watch from the app of Winds of Change. So here the answer will be Simon's rain gauge. Simon's rain gauge is a non-recording type rain gauge, and all these three are the recording type rain gauge. Okay. We have discussed this in the revision of hydrology part 1, in which type of rain gauges has been discussed: non-recording type and recording type, in which non-recording is Simon's rain gauge and IS rain gauge, and recording type is weighing bucket type, tipping bucket type, siphon rain gauge, and radar measurement. Okay, so you can watch this at this channel. Next question. According to Lassie, in regime condition, silt is kept in suspension by vertical components of eddies. Entire cross section of the channel is generated at all points by the forces normal to the wetted perimeters, or both A and B, or neither A and B. Think about it. The answer will be option C, that is both A and B are the correct statement. First of all, silt is kept in suspension by vertical components of the eddies, and secondly, entire cross section of the channel is generated at points by the forces normal to the wetted perimeter. Okay, so both A and B will be the correct answer. So here we will finish with the 160th questions, that is the last question of 160 questions of irrigation and hydrology. You can subscribe to this channel to stay updated, and download the app of Winds of Change, where you can download study material from the download section.